but people are watching that, and it's extremely dangerous. Like
Yes.
people are these women are gonna hurt themselves. They're gonna
Hmm.
have back surgery, lumbar surgery soon, and it's like, where do you? I want to just go up to people and say, why are you doing that? Like,
Right, right.
make a woman's body to hip thrust 5 plates on each side. That's just
Yes.
not normal.
Welcome to the Success Fitness Podcast. I am your host, Christian Evans. This podcast is about improving our relationship with nutrition and exercise to achieve success in our fitness journey. And our special guest today, Michelle Shepard, Group Fitness Manager at Gold's Gym in Peoria, will help us do just that by sharing how and why she does not have a favorite muscle group to target when working out, her top 5 keys to success in one's fitness journey, and the question she hates the most. Without further ado, Success Fitness family, please welcome Michelle Shepard to the podcast. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. How's your day been so far?
It's been pretty good so far for a Monday, actually.
Yeah, busy day. Started early.
Yes, it did.
Yes, for those who don't know, Michelle is my fellow comrade at Gold's Gym. She is a RN by day and group fitness instructor and manager at night. So she's wearing multiple hats. And usually I always ask all my guests where they're from or where they're at and the weather for the day. So what's the weather like today in Peoria since we're both actually in Peoria?
Well, it's a little dreary. It's a little
Hmm.
cloudy out today, just like kind of the weekend was. So could use a little sunshine, but that's okay.
Okay. So, how did you begin your journey into becoming a group fitness trainer? Are you hungry but only have 30 minutes to meal prep? Then download my new e-cookbook, What's a Meal Prep, at successfitnessstore.com. You will get 3 step-by-step written and visual recipes for one high-protein meal that's under 600 calories. I'll help you cook fresh salmon, steam fresh broccoli, and quinoa in under 30 minutes to help you stay on track of your fitness goals. So go to successfitnessstore.com to download your copy today.
Well, I, you know, I, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been in the gym world for over 30 years now.
Wow.
I started right out of college. I left for college and got really excited about the college life and kind of let my health go to a back burner. Didn't really do any exercising, was eating, drinking, whatever, just like most college students do. And I came home for Christmas one year, and I just remember my dad, as a girls, you just, whatever your dad says to you, you take very personally. And he said, "Oh my gosh, Michelle," he goes, "that freshman year of college, it's kind of put some weight on you."
Wow.
And he was right. But to hear that from, my dad, that's why I
Hmm.
always tell people when they're struggling with their kids, I'm like, if it comes from dad, it just seems to mean a lot. And so I ended up joining a gym over in East Peoria and just started working out there, just kind of learning the ropes. And I really just drank the Kool-Aid right away. And it really started to become part of my daily routine. I don't really know. People ask me all the time, like, what do you do if you take a break? And I really, besides the birth of my 2 kids, I've really never taken the gym out of my routine. So that's kind of where I started. And then I also met my husband there, and he at that time was competing in bodybuilding. And
Okay.
so really helped me pave my way into that world.
Okay. So that that's kind of not kind of that is touching because if a parent says something like you said, something coming from your father, it's like, you know what I mean? I remember having conversations with my dad, the few that I did have. He always asks, "What did you eat? What did you eat?" I'm like, "Why are you always asking me what I ate?" But now as I get older, I tend to do that to my nieces and my nephew. It's a thing like, "What
Mhm.
do you eat?" You know what I mean? What do you eat? What are you putting into your body? And then they'll tell me, and I'm like, "Okay, just make sure you drink a little bit more water after you get through eating all that, Cheetos or sugary drinks or whatever." Now you mentioned about your fitness journey and like your routine. What is your typical fitness routine? What does that look like?
So I've done all kinds of different routines. I'm not a very routine person. Physical
Hmm.
fitness and health is a routine part of my life, but I vary a lot. So I like cardio, not just because I'm thinking that cardio is just like the calorie burner and that's the most important thing, but I like how cardio makes me feel. But I
Right.
also know that, you have to balance that.
Right.
And so I started weight training really early on, and I feel like I've gotten the most successes out of weight training.
I got
And
you.
I've been through several different, you know, programs or not programs, just different methods of weight training. And I think it's always good to like shock your body. And I learn from a lot of people.
But when you mention cardio, what is your version of cardio? And the reason why I ask, because you hear it and, immediately I would say what comes to mind for me is running. But the more I talk to people, their version of cardio can be different other than just a stationary, treadmill or something. So what is your definition of cardio for you?
My definition of cardio is getting your heart rate up anytime over 20, getting it up normal heart rate rhythm over 20 minutes. So like, it doesn't have to be at that really escalated level of heart rate, but
Gotcha.
you have to have it up over 20 minutes. So that's just for me. 20 minutes is usually a little light for me, so I try to shoot for 30 minutes. I've been in
Okay.
stages of my life where I thought an hour cardio was what I needed. It's not.
Yeah.
Now everybody's into HIIT workouts, and took me
Okay.
a long time to trust the HIIT workout because I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to do it in 28 minutes. I want to work out for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
But really, if you do it correctly, you can really get a great cardio workout that way. So I think, for me now, it's maybe not quite as long, a little bit
Right.
shorter, a little bit harder, more endurance cardio.
Got you. So when you mentioned heart rate, where do you like to see your heart rate? 120, 130, 140, or
Knew you were gonna ask me that. So
yeah.
that's really theoretically what you're supposed to do, but I don't ever look at my heart rate.
Okay,
I
okay.
should though. I really
Okay.
do. I'm gonna be really
Well,
honest with you. People are like,
it's good. We live in this day and age where numbers, 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 and I've kind of fell in love with my watch, and I'm always looking at my heart rate. I'm always looking at my heart rate because it can determine, far as for me, it's okay. Let me push a little bit harder. I may be kind of like panting, 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 but when I look down, it's like only 128. I'm like no, and then I just go faster or whatever. So that's why I'm asking you, but if you know yourself, you know yourself. If you're listening out there, you don't have, a way to track your heart rate or whatever, you can always just do it manually. Uh, um, I don't know how, maybe the RN can tell you. No, I know, some people put, two fingers on that carotid artery and as far as the time and everything, but now we got technology. I just look down here and say, okay, you know what? let's ramp this up. So, is there a key is it like a key moment when you are doing cardio that for sure it's like, all right, I'm there and let me hold this here for 15 or 20 minutes, like you're saying? What is that moment for you?
so 2 things I wanna mention. First of all, this is very addicting.
Yes.
Not sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad. The scale is the same thing. Anything with numbers can lead you down a good path or a bad path.
Right.
Sometimes I wish I didn't have this watch,
Mm-hmm.
really, because I envy people who don't have a Fitbit or a smartwatch.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes I'm like, "Oh, I'm really good. I'm glad I have this because I kinda know where I'm at. Boy, I've had a really good day," or, "Oh, I haven't had that great a day.
Right,
Let's
right,
so
right,
blah."
right.
I think that I've just been doing this for so long, so I never get on the scale. I really don't look at my heart rate. I really try not to focus on the calories burned. I really go about how I feel and what I look like, how I feel in my clothes,
Right.
how I'm feeling mentally. And that's really hard to explain to people because everybody's so fixated on numbers now. And I think
Right.
it depends on your goal. So, I'm very blessed. I'm 5'9" and a half. I'm tall and I've never been really overweight.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was overweight and my goal was to lose weight, then I can see how all those things are very critical in my journey.
Right.
Um, And I think it's all about how do you feel when you look in the mirror? Do you like what you look at like? Like
Right.
a lot of us women don't. We're never going to be satisfied, but really getting to appreciate yourself and saying, I'm doing good. This is what I want to be doing and not fixated on that. So I don't fixate on numbers. Although I do think it's important, you don't want to be working out and your heart rate be extremely high. And if it's really low and you're pushing, then that's something that probably needs to be evaluated. You have to look at what am I not doing right that I can't get my heart rate up.
Gotcha.
Because I think it's supposed to be like 10% or maybe 20% over your normal heart rate is really your working heart rate, I think.
Right, right. And you make great
So
points in regards to numbers, and we all are, fixated on numbers. We have analytics, statistics, and everything like that where we can measure ourselves. And it's like you said, it's 50-50. It's good to measure yourself, but then when you have somebody asking a question, or what should I be doing here? What should I do here? And you can give them an answer, but if it's not in direct correlation to what you are doing, then you can kind of see some pushback. And that's where I think each individual person has to really just be in tune with themselves and kind of accept, like, okay, this is my journey. I can't base my numbers off of Michelle's. I can't base my numbers off of Christian's. So just with that being said, what is the question that you get asked the most from your clientele when asking about the services that you provide?
what do you eat? Michelle, what do you eat?
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I first met you, we had this conversation because you were telling me about this keto ice cream, remember? And I said,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'll never eat that keto ice cream."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I often, tell people what works for me. So, when I did competitions back in the day, the way to do that was low fat. You take all the fats out of your diet, you start to dwindle down on your carbs the closer you get to the competition. And is that the healthiest way? I don't know. But if you did it right and you followed your plan and you kept seeing progress, it worked for most people. And
Mm-hmm.
now, since then, there's so many different diets out there that people use, keto diets, all
Right.
different things. And I think you have to play around with it and figure out what your body reacts to the best. If I start to put on a few pounds and I want to shave those pounds off, my way to do it is to cut my fats. But
Okay.
now, people will say cut your fats. If you use those low fat or fat free products, that's just adding sugar into your diet. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
into the no sugar. And so I really think you have to figure out, and maybe it's macros. I don't count my macros either, but maybe it's counting your macros and really taking that time to figure out what makes your body go into that weight loss or leaning out process that you want to do. So I always tell people, I can tell you what I do, I can give you some options,
Right.
but it may not work for you.
I got you. Now, being RN by day and group fitness instructor by night, what does a typical day look like for you?
Well, so depending on how my evening looks or what time I get out of work, sometimes I do like to do fasting cardio, and I have an elliptical at home.
Okay.
I do like to run too
Okay.
outside. Now when it's dark in the morning, I don't do that, but I like to do my cardio in the morning. Sometimes it doesn't work out because I have to start work at 7.
Okay.
I work during the day, most days, all day, and then I go to the gym in the evening and work out and do my cardio if I didn't do that in the morning. Some days I just lift weights and it's not a cardio day.
Okay.
So it's pretty much, kind of the same. The weekends are when I get the most done. I've really started to try to prep my food. But when I say prep, I'm not saying like diet foods, but just try to prepare for the week a little bit better so that I
Mm-hmm.
don't spend my evenings cooking. And what I find a lot of times, if I have to come home and then prepare my food and it's another hour and a half before I eat, I'm so hungry that I overeat.
I gotcha.
And then you can probably guarantee in about an hour and a half, I'm going to be hungry again.
Right.
So
Right.
I try to have everything prepared so that I don't have to cook during the week quite as much.
What's your favorite meal to cook, or your favorite kind of go to your staple?
Mm, Well, we do a lot of chicken and I try to grill out and marinate. I'm a big
Okay.
marinator, so I like to marinate different things. We have a gas grill, so we could grill out all
Okay.
time of year.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. What's your favorite marinade? What's your favorite thing to your
Oh, the
combination?
Alwyn's teriyaki from
Okay.
Alwyn's
Okay. I
Steakhouse
haven't
is
tried that one. I haven't
oh,
tried that one. I
yeah.
haven't. I just got a electric smoker. I have a charcoal smoker. I have a propane grill, but I just got this electric smoker, and I've been smoking all week.
Oh,
Done
yeah.
chicken, salmon, catfish fillets, and I just did pulled pork. So if y'all don't have a smoker or a grill like Michelle has, then get one because it does help out when meal prep. You can just put like your marinated chicken on your grill or your smoker and just let it sit and or cook on the grill. You got to watch it, but preparation is key because, like you said, when you are on, you're on. If I can get everything prepped, my day goes by good. I can get up, I can do my cardio, or if I'm not doing cardio, I can do my weightlifting routine. So with that being said, we got your diet routine down, and once you get your diet and your meal prep, everything all prepped up for you. Since you get up early, some days you do cardio, then some days you do your weightlifting routine. With that being said, what is or are your favorite and least favorite muscle groups to train?
So I don't really have a least favorite. There are some days that I get to the gym and I'm like, I really don't want to work back day, but I'm so stuck in a routine that if it's back day, I'm going to work back day.
I got you.
So I really strive for symmetry, and I think when I see somebody who's very symmetrical, whether it's a man or a woman, I think that is really beautiful. Like they have worked really, really hard to make their body look
Hmm.
normal but symmetric.
Right.
And so I feel like all body parts are really worth the effort to put into them. So I really don't have a least or a favorite.
I got
I
you.
Well, if I had to say favorite that I never really complained about, it would probably be arms.
Arms. Okay. 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 Suns out,
No
guns out.
50 no 53-year-old lady wants flabby
Yeah.
arms. You can't hide
Yeah.
them all the
Yeah.
time.
And she has some guns, folks. So beware, beware. So what is the toughest part about your day? What's the toughest part about your day?
Evenings are the toughest part of my day.
Okay.
I think because I'm going all day long, and so I get home and then, I don't relax very well. I'm gonna make an effort to try to do that after the holidays to really unwind a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
do a little bit more maybe reflection at the end of the day. I
Gotcha.
don't do that. I feel like my mind's always going, and so when I do that at home, I wanna, like, eat or, um 'cause evenings is really hard for me
I
food-wise, 'cause
gotcha.
I can eat a really nice, good meal and be ready to eat again at
I
9 o'clock
gotcha.
at night.
I
Yeah.
got you because you're relaxed. Your hair's down. You're like, okay, I'm chilling
Mhm.
out. I'm relaxed. And you eat once, and you're like, you know what? I can eat again. So I'm not going back out or whatever. So yeah, I get it. I get it. What personal accolades or accomplishments are you most proud of?
Um, so I've done a lot of different competitions. I've done, bodybuilding competitions. Those are all, like, things that I'm proud of because it's not easy to get I tell people who compete now, just to get on stage, I mean, you're
Gotcha.
basically almost half naked up there on stage in front of,
Right.
hundreds of people. And just to get up there is, huge. And so, I think just those competition things, because sometimes I'd say I'm competitive and then sometimes I'm like, I'm not competitive. I get nervous in every single competition.
I got
So,
you.
those, and then just, I have 2 healthy kids. I have a great husband. I've got a great job. And so all of those personal things, I just feel like I'm very lucky to have.
I got you. So how many competitions have you been in?
I've done 4 bodybuilding competitions.
Okay. 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 So how did you get into that? How did you get into as far as bodybuilding? Because there's one thing to, get into to fitness, right? It's kind of broad. You get into that where it's like, okay, daddy said something to kind of lit a fire under me and I'm working out. And then you take it to the next level to say, I'm going to show off God's work. I'm going to show you, you know what I mean? This beautiful specimen, this beautiful body that I have. How did you do that?
When you decide to do things like that, it's usually because you met somebody that inspired you. And so when I started going to the gym, I met people that competed,
Okay.
and I was inspired by the process. I was inspired by how they looked. I was inspired by how they juggled life, competition, work, everything. And I wanted to just try it. And I think once you try it, you either decide, I'm going to do it a couple more times and tweak and see if I can really do well,
Right.
or something else comes along the line. So I feel like people,
I got you.
environment.
I got you. And your first one, what year was that? What year?
So my first one was in actually 1991, and
Okay.
all mine at that time were, they were drug tested shows. I mean,
Okay.
they were not drug tested shows, sorry.
Okay.
So it's a little different environment,
Mm-hmm.
and, so people, you're competing with people who have used supplements. I've never done that,
Okay.
so
Salute.
fine for people who do it, but it's a completely different level of competition. And also I'm 5'9.5". I think I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish in that.
I got you. All righty. Being that you are a group fitness trainer at Go's Gym and I am a personal trainer at Go's Gym, can you best describe your clientele that comes to group fitness training classes?
Yes. So I think we have a very diverse crowd at Gold's Gym. I've been to a lot of gyms in our area as guests or as a member, and I think sometimes you don't realize it until somebody asks you the question. But I think we have it all. We have people that are in extraordinary shape, fitness shape. They're at the top of their journey. We have people who are just starting their journey. We have tall people, short people. We have people of all color, people of all ethnic race, people from different countries, different languages. And I love that about our gym. I love the diversity. I think we all motivate each other because of our diverse background. Sometimes we don't know that we're even motivating each other. So I think it's just, it's something that makes us unique.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're right, because I see, like, even from a man standpoint, it's that if I get there about, let's say, 8 o'clock, and there's already people who's been there for like 3 hours ahead, because they start opening at like 4:30, and I've been there sometimes as early as about 6. It's like we have a routine of people, and then there's like the older guys, 65, 70, one guy I looked at, I think he said he was like 80, 83. And I'm like, goodness gracious, he's in good shape, but he's there consistently. So like you said, this stigma of almost like the logo, not saying that it harms us or whatever, but it's kind of like that visualization that, oh, everybody has to be a bodybuilder at Gold's Gym. Everybody's in super tip top shape. And that is just so subjective. And it's so far from the truth that everybody has to be a bodybuilder. Like you said, we see all walks of life, gender, age, ethnicities. I always have a problem saying that word, but it's so broad to a point to where, trying to dispel like, oh, this is only a bodybuilder's gym. No, it's spacious. It's got a good vibe. Some days you walk in and you hear some house music. Some days you walk in and dance, and you got the oldies going. It's whatever, but everybody's there. It's always good. And I always see a lot of people in these group fitness classes. Now, you teach on Sundays, or what is your?
I teach on Sundays and Tuesdays.
Sundays and Tuesdays. Okay.
So there's two quick stories I want to share with you because I think they're so important. We had a couple new classes that started in the morning. One is a turbo kick class, and then one is a class called cardio pop. And we have these retired women that come in the morning, and they're always downstairs, and we close ladies' golds, if you remember.
Yeah.
And so they were like, some of them were like, I don't want to go out on that big floor, and I'm not going upstairs, So I took off time to work, from work, to go meet them in the morning and take them around and show them all the equipment. The same equipment we had in Ladies Golds, but it's just intimidating for them to come out on that floor.
Right.
And so now they're all doing that. They love it. And then I said, okay, I'm going to come on Friday at 8:30 and we're going to take cardio pop together. And now come and take class on their own, and they
Nice.
message me and they're like, "Thank you for letting me do this," or they'll send me pictures of a machine and they'll be like, "Hey, this is this machine right here. What did you tell me? How did I sit
Right,
on?"
right. That's
And I'm like,
beautiful.
yeah, I tell them all the time, like, you just text me. You can, FaceTime me and I'll help you. But those are the things that I love about that gym because, they might have left. They might have gone somewhere else
Right,
when
right,
those
right,
ladies
right,
sold. And
right.
yeah, last week I subbed a class and in the morning, mid morning, and I
Okay.
subbed for somebody. My class had everybody from 18 to 80 in there, and it was the
Wow.
best class.
Wow. Wow. So Tuesdays and Sundays?
Yeah, I teach Tuesday at 5 p.m. and Sundays at 9:30 in the morning.
Okay. Okay. Now, for those who may kind of still be on the fence just about even starting their fitness journey, what what advice can you give them in regards to how exercise can just improve their life and their lifestyle overall?
Well, I think you gotta give it a good effort. I don't think it's something that's not a quick fix. It's not something that you just start, and if you don't see results in 2 weeks, mentally or physically, that it's you quit. You don't quit
Mm-hmm.
driving. You don't do, when you just start practicing in 2 weeks. It takes time for you to build that as a healthy habit. My other advice is reach out to somebody. Like,
Right.
people think because like when I'm in the gym, I'm working out and I'm focused, people think they can't come up and talk to me. I'm actually okay with it. If I feel like I can help push somebody in the right direction, one person, that's a success. And so like find somebody who can help mentor you, if or keep you going the right direction. And it's always that's why I like the gym because if you I know a lot of people like to work out at home, including you, but the gym provides you an environment where you can watch people. And when you're around people who are doing something the same, that's going to be your motivation too.
Exactly. 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 Because there is a difference. We coming out of the pandemic or in dealing within the pandemic, we've seen an uptick of home gyms, home exercise routines, and everybody was trying to do what they could to motivate themselves as well as other and as their clients that they may have been going to the actual gym to work out with. And we kind of lost that. We lost a lot of that during the pandemic, and some people stayed within the house, when, kind of we got released for lack of
Yeah,
better words.
yeah.
But coming from somebody who has a home gym, there's a big difference. There's a big difference. Like I'll do certain things at home, but then there's certain things that I just say for Gold's Gym to do. Like today is Monday. I'm recording this on a Monday, and we all know Monday is International Chest Day. But I make Sundays my chest day now because I'm trying to work more on my legs. Even when I asked you about your least favorite muscle groups to work, mine is legs. So what I'm trying to do going into 2023 is work on my legs more. So I want to start Mondays off, and there's just certain machines that I just don't have at home. And it's a difference. You get away from home, because when you're working at home, it's like, okay, in between sets, let me start some laundry. Let me, send this email off or whatever. But when you're at a gym, you got the workout vibe. You got everybody else. You got the old guy who's 80 years old, who's been there 30 minutes before you, motivating you. It's like, okay, I'm slipping. You know what I mean? So for those, if you are kind of hesitant about just going out, you may have health reasons, health concerns, and things like that. But come to Gold. Come to Gold. You will understand some things that I can't just really just say just right here, not from I don't know how to put it into words, but it's more of a feeling. And you and I know, Michelle, about going from this gym or going to that gym, how there's just a different vibe. You know what I mean? It's like, I ain't feeling that vibe. I've been to several gyms, like, I'm not feeling that vibe at this gym. I don't get that from goals. And this is not a biased opinion from somebody who's gone to just about every gym in Peoria. This one is like, it has that vibe because nobody really mess with you like that. Nobody's really eyeing you because there's so much space to where if somebody is eyeing you, they have to be straining to look at you because there's so much space. There's so much space. And so with that being said, what are your top 5 keys to success in your fitness journey or one's fitness journey?
I think stay true to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
Be consistent. You have to be consistent. Be around people who share the same journey or the same passion as you do. You know, if you go to the gym, but then you're around people who, you know, eat crap all the time and don't do anything healthy for themselves, and they're, you know, smoking and drinking every single day. I mean, everything's in moderation, but if that's their lifestyle, then it's
Right.
hard for you to stay on.
Right.
Buddy up. And, you know, I mean, do everything in moderation. So there, you know, I listen to people about their diets and I'm like, we starve ourselves. And sometimes you just got to treat yourself. You deserve to be treated, you know,
Right.
and get that out of your system. And, you know, everybody's like, well, once you eat sugar, then, you know, you can't stop eating sugar. Well, it's, it's here too sometimes. So you're mentally stronger than what you think. If you want to have that cake, eat your cake because, you know, you can still continue on. So
Right.
really just moderation and consistency.
Right. Now, same question, but from a negative aspect, name the top 5 things that can negatively affect somebody's fitness journey.
Social media, fad diets, you know, listening to people who really don't know what they're talking about. Like I'm
Say
not a
it.
dietitian,
Right. Right.
so, you know, I'm not gonna, I can't really give good advice, but if you listen to somebody who's, you know, might not have the best advice that's for Michelle, it's not going to work for you. So it makes you do the wrong thing or go the opposite ways. That's very frustrating. So you're just going to quit, you know.
Right.
Watching or listening to people when you are looking at workouts or how they exercise, you know, I'm really, because I'm older and I've had some injuries, I'm really about full range of motion. I think the most important thing is that the diet, if you don't diet correctly, you can really, especially for women, you can do a lot of damage that takes a long, long time to reverse. So really doing it the right way.
Right. Right. And when you mentioned there were 2 key points that I want to dive more into. When you mentioned social media, um, can you elaborate on that?
Oh my gosh.
I think I know what you mean, but I just want you to articulate it.
I've seen some crazy things on social media,
Yeah.
some crazy workouts that people who are,
Right.
you know, pros or whatever
Right.
put together. But then I see even some of our own local people will put things on, people that like some gym members look up to these people and they'll put something on social media. I'm like, that machine's not even used for that. And God, what
Right.
are you doing? Like, I'm
Right.
like,
Right. What are you doing? Right.
yes. And so if
Yeah.
you send somebody out there who has no experience to try
Yeah.
something like that,
Yeah.
you know, you could really injure yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And just because you see somebody doing it does not mean, like you said, if it's not for Michelle, it's not for Michelle. And that's the difference when it comes to, personal training or, group fitness, where once again, you got to get out the house sometime to get
Mhm.
the key pointers and cue points, because everything cannot be explained in a 60-second video or a 30-second video or a 15-second video. All the time is starting to dwindle down. So you can't say everything you need to say in 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or 60 seconds. And nor should you expect to get everything in that short period of time. And so if you see somebody doing something and it's like, okay, I can just do just that, that's not it. One thing I'm seeing so much of are glute bridges or, deadlifts. And I see a lot of horrible form, and I'm
Mhm.
not a form police person, but that's on you if you want to go deep into, just doing something because somebody else is doing it. And at the same time, I don't feel what they feel. So what looks like horrible form to me could be, hey, I'm really targeting the muscles that they want to target. That just goes to show it's like everybody's fitness journey is just different, and you can't go off of what you see all the time, especially on social media. You have to have somebody next to you if you are new to certain things to best explain it to you, and that's where group fitness comes in. This is where personal training comes in, as far as one-on-one. And we have a lot of people who are still just hesitant about just starting their fitness journey. So what advice would you give those people who are just hesitant or just on the fence about going on their fitness journey or beginning their fitness journey?
Well, I know a lot of people that are just beginning that, probably or they're younger and maybe don't have a very, very, great stable job. And so I think it is challenging, but I do think that a personal trainer who has some certifications that is well-rounded, not just about exercise, but can deal with, diet and everything else is really worth the money. I've even tried to talk to some, older members at the gym about considering personal training. I think part of it is it's a commitment to them, and they're like, "Do I
Right.
really want to commit? Do I want to
Right.
answer to somebody?" It's easy to answer to yourself,
Right.
but, do I want to answer to a personal trainer? But I feel like when you're really starting out to do it right, that is the best way to do it. Um, and I do recommend that a lot, but people would rather sometimes spend $150 on a pair of shoes than $150 on a personal trainer to get them on track.
Right.
And I think that's just how you prioritize it or how bad do you really want it,
How bad do you
And
want it? You're right. You're right.
and if you have no experience on your own in any of those things, the working out, the diet and everything, I'd have to say if there's research out, most are gonna fail. You're not gonna reach your goals. What are your goals?
Right.
And, how are you gonna get there? So, I just wanted to make a comment about when you were talking about hip thrusters, and you can delete this or whatever because this is very personal, Michelle's thoughts, but everybody wants a big butt. All the women want a big butt. I'm not sure why, because for me, like I said, I'm all about symmetry. So but if that's your goal, that's your goal. But when you look at people doing some of those exercises to get that big butt, there's 100 ways to get a big butt. For me, because I'm old school, I'd say you get under the squat rack and you squat. That's how you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
get it. But people are watching that and it's extremely dangerous. Like
Yes.
people are these women are gonna hurt themselves, they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have back surgery, lumbar surgery soon. And it's like, where do you I want to just go up to people and say, why are you doing that? Like
Right. Right.
make you to make a woman's body to hip thrust 5, 10 plates, 5 plates on each side. That's just
Yes.
not normal.
Yes.
So, I agree with you about what you said, and that's why I
Mm-hmm.
caution people about I see it, I'm like, you got a 130-pound girl hip thrusting. God, I don't even know how much weight, but
Yes, yes, yes. And I look at the setup. I look at the setup, or they're taking a barbell, just everything that it takes to set that one up. I'm like, man, that's a you could have did, you know, 5 sets of 15 is on a, like a Smith machine squat,
yeah,
a barbell squat, or some dumbbell stand up, sit down squats, and been in and out, or
yeah,
some cable, extensions, but whatever. But kind of live in this day and age where everybody knows everything. You can't tell everybody nothing, so it's you got it, and that's the kind of tough part to where, you got your personal trainer side slash form police to where you're like, hey, this is what you shouldn't be doing, but you have to learn yourself. I can attest to deadlifting. Far as for me, I think the most I've deadlifted was probably about 435. And do you know I had the most horrible form? And this whole time, and this was like just before I would kind of like even research. I honestly, and I'm talking when I'm telling you all this stuff, I'm talking from personal experience of doing the wrong thing. It's never from, oh, I'm holier than thou, or I'm above here. This is strictly from personal experience, because even when I got into weightlifting, and when not say bodybuilding, but just weightlifting, it's just pretty much just taught myself for the most part, like a lot of people do. Hey, I'm gonna watch a YouTube video, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. I didn't have a personal trainer. I've never had a personal trainer a day in my life. I may have some gym bros say, hey, do this and do that, but deadlifting, I had the wrong form. I wasn't pressing from the muscles that I needed to press from, and once I look back, I'm like, I could have really injured myself. And all for
mhm,
what? All for what?
yeah,
A number? And I'm
yeah.
like, all for what? A number is like, I'm not getting paid to do this. You know what I mean? And a lot of times is like when trainers are telling you all this, or we making a video, or this is why we have Michelle on here. We're professionals, and we're just talking from personal experience. Like you said, you've had plenty of injuries, and you realize like, hey, let me tweak that. Let me, you know what I mean? Because that ain't worth it, So it's all out of love. It's all out of love. So Michelle, tell everybody where they can reach you online or in real life, at goals, and what days and what time.
Well, you can reach me anytime through social media if you wanted to. You can send me a message. I do all of our social media for the Gold's Gym too on our Instagram and Facebook page. I'm at the gym almost every evening, usually Sundays for sure, usually Saturday mornings. I work at OSF Healthcare, so you can look me up that way too. So, yep. They can reach me through you.
There you have it. There you have it. Michelle Shepard, thank you so much for appearing on the Success Fitness Podcast. And if you found inspiration in today's podcast with Michelle and would love to support, then sign up to my weekly newsletter, the Success Fitness Newsletter, to get 10% off my new e-cookbook, What's a Meal Prep for Beginners. When you click the link in my show notes, it includes 3 recipes for one high-protein meal under 600 calories, step-by-step, written instructions, and video tutorials, and a free workout ebook. The link will be in the show notes. And this brings us to the end of another episode of the Success Fitness Podcast. Thank you for listening. And remember, if any situation is not making you stronger, simply chant more weight, more weight, more weight. #more weight. Peace out.